All right. With that said, let's get our guest speaker up here. This gentleman was a system engineer. He wanted to become a stay-home dad. He saw the opportunity, he seen an opportunity to change his life. But I want to thank him for who he is, and he's raising his daughter, and he lives down in San Diego. Let's give a warm welcome to Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis.
Good morning, Mr. Thomas. Good morning, everyone. It's great to see all of you. And you know that's going to be a great trip. For those of you who've never been down, it's cool. Cartagena, Old Town, on the Caribbean side is pretty amazing. So it would be definitely something that you want to do. All expense paid trip for you, and one plus, which is awesome too, and on the expense. And I would recommend sneaking out to the area and really experiencing outside of the resort, Cartagena. But guys, I want to say before I get started, I just want to share my appreciation for Mr. Thomas as a senior vice president, as a mentor, as a man, as a father, as someone who loves to see other people win, that doesn't have to be on here on a regular basis, but decides to be because he realizes the reason he's an SVP is because he understands what servant leadership is about. And so I just want to thank you, Mr. Thomas, for being who you are, and for putting this together every single day for people that are brand new, experienced from every single type of team there is, so that they can see what it means to have success in the company. So guys, I'm going to keep this real brief. We're at 9:20, and I just want to make sure that we to give you something that can take with you for an impact and a result. And what I was really thinking about as we were going through bonuses and as we were going through, you know, the trip and all these other things, is that, you know, ACN can seem overwhelming. And I want to talk to all of you about it. I don't know if you've thought about it, but those of you that have seen me on the call before, you know I'm pretty transparent, and and if we can't be open with each other, then it's going to be really difficult for me to train all of you this month. So is it okay if we're just real blunt, transparent? We don't have to put on any airs. We don't have to pretend to be something that we're not. We don't have to, like they used to do back in the day, fake it until you make it. A fake or a phony can be, you can kind of smell them a mile away. Does that make sense, you guys? So if we could be authentic and we could talk about what's going on, I want you to be honest, and you put in the chat with everything that ACN is doing, with all the new services, all the excitement, the events, all this other stuff. How many of you have ever felt overwhelmed? Put it in the chat. I want to see in the chat. I see some hands up, but I want to see in the chat. I need to know, be honest, because I think leaders have sometimes a disconnect. See, for leaders, and I want to say, so myself included, I've done this and I've made this mistake too. I've seen senior vice presidents, regional vice presidents, regional directors make this mistake too. For leaders, every new thing is exciting. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, this is exciting. We got so much. We have impact healthcare, exciting. We have IDC, it's so exciting. We have all of these things. New comp plan, exciting details. It's exciting. Well, if you're brand new trying to figure things out, can we agree it's a lot? It's overwhelming. We got this new thing coming up. We got that new thing coming up. We got the next new thing coming up. We got new qualifications for regional vice president coming up in August. But wait, I'm trying to figure out these qualifications. Like, wait, hold up. Just stop. Just wait for a second. Has anyone ever felt that way before? And then you might feel like, how are these other people keeping up? And I'm just trying to catch up. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna share something with you that I think will benefit. Because I remember feeling that way. I felt like every time I thought I figured something out, there was something new. Every time I kind of got the compensation plan, they changed it. And then I was chasing down another bonus or another trip or something exciting that felt like anxiety to me. But I didn't want to tell my leaders that because I wanted to be a leader. And so leaders are excited. So when my leaders would say, "Are you excited?" Guess what I would say? "I'm excited." And so if you keep the main thing, you won't get overwhelmed. There are all these great things that are happening. And even as exciting, and sometimes me as a leader, I didn't know this. As exciting as a gentleman getting in on the 27th of last month and putting in 250 customers almost, and we're only in the fourth of the month, that's not exciting to me. That's overwhelming because it makes me start to think, what the hell am I doing wrong? With all these people winning, it can get discouraging. Now, it might be me, but did anyone else relate to what I'm talking about? Put it in the chat. Because I think it's sobering. It's sobering as a leader when you realize that all the things that get us excited as leaders may not be where everyone is at in their mind. Yeah, I get it, Maria Estrada. Rick, I see you. Right. But what are you doing when you don't quit? And these are the things that, so it's like, oh, they're doing over here. They're doing over here. If I just keep going, if I just don't quit, here's the truth. If you keep running in the wrong direction, it don't matter how fast you're running and how excited you are, you're not going to do anything. So it doesn't matter if you don't quit. It's what are we doing on a regular basis? What are we doing consistently? So the main thing being the main thing is the ASEAN system. No matter how many trips they put on, no matter how many new services get added, no matter how many times the compensation plan gets enhanced, no matter how many promotions get released, no matter how many times in the customer training at the big events we talk about new services coming, none of that matters. What matters is, are you doing the things every single day to create consistency and scale a business that will be able to earn on all of the enhancements, that will be able to get rewarded anytime there's a new promotion, that will be able to get compensated anytime there's a new bonus, that will be able to be celebrated anytime there's a trip? See, all of those things become exciting when you're focused on the main thing. And the main thing is, you guys ready for this? Exposing people to the ASEAN opportunity. That's all it really is. You know, I never got let the highs get me too high, and I never got let the lows get me too low. I realized something. I wanted to be home with my daughter. How could I do that within ASEAN? How could I do that so that ASEAN would support that type of lifestyle? Well, if I did everything on my own, then it would be like I had a high paying job. So then ASEAN wouldn't support that lifestyle. Well, then that means that I needed to build a team. Well, I've never built a team before. So now I'm a little discouraged. But then I went to a training and then more trainings. And I learned that my job wasn't necessarily to become great at acquiring customers. My job wasn't necessarily to become great at building a team. And I think this is where a lot of ACN people get really confused, because me saying I'm going out to get customers implies that I'm going to help someone do something that they didn't plan to do or they didn't want to do. Me going out to build a team implies that I'm doing it. Like I'm going out and I'm showing people and I'm signing them up in the business. And that's what it looks like from the outside. But do you know, from Tony Kupas to the biggest team builders, did you guys know that ACN is a team? Greg Provenzano says he wants to see you build an ACN within an ACN. So ACN is a team, and ACN has people that gathered customers, and ACN has people that have recruited. Is this true? But how? It's because they realize at the biggest level that in order to, the easiest way to do all of those things is just to find people that already want to do those things. Do you know the hardest way to do those things? Trying to convince people. So it's easy to see someone that got 200 plus customers in like 7 seconds and think, well, I need to go out there and I need to convince everyone that I come across that they need to be my customer. And it's easy to see someone that's recruited 1,000 people in a week to say, well, I need to go out there and I need to convince people to sign up in my ACN business. But those outcomes aren't associated with that activity. And that's where the disconnect is. And that's where what I'm trying to help you to share with you today. Those outcomes, if you want ones to scale, not fly by night, but to scale, those outcomes come from doing one thing: exposing as many people as you can to the ACN opportunity and letting them decide whether they see themselves as a customer or a business partner. See, when we get our ego and ourselves involved in trying to get them to do one or the other, the immediate response that anyone has is to fight it. So if I sit down with you and my goal is to try to close you on being a business partner, because I'm looking right now at how many business partners I have in the month, and I need to get 4 more in order to get to the money goal that I have, and my goal is to close you to become a business owner, I can close you into the business. But a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. Do you realize how many people we've closed into the business when we were brand new, not knowing this? And they just quit mentally, or they quit a few weeks later. Now, if they quit mentally and I closed 100 people into the business and I closed them on getting qualified, do I look good on paper? Heck yeah. Do I make a good bonus? Absolutely. Do I get to walk up on stage? Yes. But 6 months from now, do I have all of those customers? No, because I closed them on signing up. I convinced them to get these services, and now they're upset about their decision, so they cancel all of the services, which means I don't get paid on it, and it's not a thriving, healthy business. What if I do the same thing with customers? On paper, I look great. I might even make a great payday up front. But the truth is, long term, which is, I think we're all want, is long-term residual income, those customers don't stay around because I forced them, I closed them on being a customer. You know who stays around the longest? Does anyone know? You can put it in the chat. Whether it's a customer or business owner, who do you think stays around the longest? And leaders, even if you think you know, I'd love to hear from you too. And it's really simple. I don't know if you guys are chat or thinking or typing or what. Dale Ransom, that's it. The people who stay around the longest are actually the people who want to. It's that simple. It's not the people you convinced. Because even if they're great people and you convince them, your level of leadership or influence to them will be very much diminished because they'll always have a little bit of resentment for you. Most people don't realize that. So the people that stay around the longest are the people who want to. And the best way to find people who want to is by sorting, because there are people out there that are looking for us where you don't have to convince someone to be a business owner or a customer. But if you keep sharing and exposing people to it, you find the right people. And this remedies a lot of situations. You know, we talked to a leadership group, and one of the questions they asked was, well, someone told me that they wanted to sign up and they said they'd sign up on Friday, but Friday comes and they're not signing up and now they've disappeared. Has that ever happened to anyone before? It's because you forgot to keep the main thing the main thing. Again, is is the goal to sign up the person 299? Is that the goal? No. Remember what the goal is. The goal is to sort to find people that want to do it. Is this true? So we get blinded. We tell them go find the money, which is a mistake. And then we go off looking for other people so that we can sign them up and get them to do the business. That's not what we're doing. So if someone doesn't have the money, I shared this with this leadership group. Do you know the if they don't have the money, it doesn't mean they don't want to do it. There's so many things that people feel about money. So if I really want to do it, but I don't have the money, I might be embarrassed and I might allow my embarrassment to ignore your calls because I don't want to have to say that I don't have the money. So now I make up a reason or I ghost you. And so I'm running away from the opportunity that would benefit me because I'm embarrassed. You guys realize that happens, right? And so if that's the case, then I have to be smarter as a human being. Well, if I want to help them, how do I help them? By saying, what can I do? Rick, if I could show you how to do this without the money, would you be open to it? Rick's going to say, of course. If I can show you how to get to the bonus without the money, would you be open to it? And so now, remember, the goal is to continue to expose the people that expose the most people make the most money. And the reason why that's true is because the person who exposes the most people will find more people that are looking to do this, not convince more people. That is not the same. Do you want leaders who want to run out there and build this business without you? Or do you want 100 people that you have to get to do everything because you convinced them all to do it? I'm pretty sure you want leaders. So now Rick doesn't have the money, but Rick says, okay, I don't have the money, but I'm willing to be shown. And guess what I do? All I do is help him expose the closest contacts to him that he would get an opinion from. And then I help him expose a larger group afterwards. And through exposing his people, not only do I find people that want to do it, I find someone that wants to do it and has the money. And before they sign up, I say, Rick, she's about to they're about to sign up. They have the money. What can we do to find the money now? You're in position to make this bonus. Now what I'm doing is I'm helping Rick get into a situation that's going to make him better. You know why? Because I'm getting him into a situation where he has to figure it out. And him figuring it out is going to help him to become more confident. And because he's confident, when he speaks about the opportunity now, he's going to speak about it with a different energy. But he's also going to sign up, because I didn't make the money the issue. A lot of the people that want to sign up in your team don't, because we're telling them to go get the money and then we'll work with them, instead of working with them so that they can see why they need to go get the money. It's very different. My biggest organizations throughout my entire career in ACN came from people who didn't have money. They came from someone who was excited, but just never thought about how to figure out a money problem. They didn't realize that it wasn't a money problem, it was an idea problem. But you know what forced them to really think about it? Seeing an organization that would take off without them. The fear of losing it forced them to figure out how to get the money. They became more resourceful, and that led to them developing a large organization. Every single huge team in my business came from someone who didn't even have the money, who introduced someone, who introduced someone, who introduced someone that wanted to do it and also had the money. And that led to 1, 2, 3, or 5. The biggest that's happened is 10 people taprooted through. 10 people found the 10th person that wanted the money, contacted every single person going back up to the top, and 10 people joined when none of them had the money before. But it was never the money. They just wanted, number one, they wanted to work with someone that really wanted to see them succeed. And showing somebody that you want them to succeed, you don't do that through talking. You do that through working. And the best way you can show someone that you want them to succeed is to have faith in them and work with them, even if they haven't paid yet. That's putting your money where your mouth is, so that they can go and find the money later. And the level of respect they have for you is tremendous, because they know you didn't have to work with them, but you did, not because of the money, but because you wanted to see them win. That creates a different culture. And if you just focus on the main thing being the main thing, you focus on exposures and sorting, and allowing people that want to be a customer to become a customer, allowing people that want to just be a referral to be a referral, allowing people that just want to say, my friend's in a business, he's amazing, and post it on social media to do that, allowing people that want to sign up, allowing people that don't have the money to still build with you until they figure that out. When you can sort, then it doesn't matter how many different services ACN comes out with. It doesn't matter how many different promotions or different trips that they roll out. None of it will ever seem overwhelming anymore, because all of those things will actually start to fuel your business, because you're focusing on the right thing versus trying to focus on all these new things every single time they pop up. So I hope that helps all of you. I wanted to make it real quick, to keep us on time as much as possible. But don't get overwhelmed. If you're going to get excited about sorting and letting people surprise you. Not sorting and expecting, sorting and letting people surprise you. And when they show up ready to work, whether they have the money or not, work with them, work through them, and people will always find the money. And what you'll find in doing so is that they'll work harder, because they recognize that they figured it out themselves. So they start to take ownership from day one. And that's how you identify leaders. That's how you identify people who want to do it. And that's how you get people running with you for long periods of time, because it wasn't you that convinced them. They were convinced through seeing the opportunity work through you, and they believed that they could because they developed their confidence. Mr. Thomas, I'll turn the call over to you, sir.